Welcome to my 2020 stream setup tour. When watching streams, it's sometimes hard to tell exactly how people are doing all the cool stuff you see when they're live. I'm going to give you an in-depth view of exactly how my stream is set up so you can do the same thing. First, we will go over the physical setup of the computer, cameras and lights, locations and all sorts of stuff like that, and how that all works with each other. Then we will go inside the computer to show you the software and how it controls everything you see live on stream seamlessly. If there is anything I don't cover in this video that you would like to know, leave a comment down below. I'll be responding to all the comments and maybe even make a video based on the comments that get posted. My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and today I'll be your stream technician. Real quick, if you're new around here and are into PC gaming and streaming related videos, make sure to slap that subscribe button and click that bell so you don't miss a single upload. With that out of the way, let's get to the video. So let's go around the room and check out how everything looks and how I have everything set up. Over here on the wall, we do have a light wall mounted right here, controlled via the Stream Deck, and most of the lighting in the room here is controlled via Stream Deck. If you guys want to watch a video on that, it'll be linked in the description above, as the description below, as well as in the little iCard above. So this side has a wall-mounted LED panel. I also have an overhead overhead light right here, and there's a little bit of sound treatment up there, as well as sound treatment on the door. Now, if we go this way, got my computer set up here. This is where I sit and do all my streaming. The light here is a newer ring light, which we also have covered in a video and linked in the iCard above, as well as in the description below if you want to see more info on it. And yeah, this is, when it comes to streaming, pretty much the only light that I use now. I used to use this much lighting all around the room, and well, ring light really helped cut down on how many lights you have to be set up. No more extra lights needed. So we'll show you that shortly. So this side over here also has another light. Most of the time I use these LED panel lights and the overhead light depending on some situations. However, like I use them for shooting videos, not so much streaming. But going around the room, there's my table as well. This is something that I haven't used for streaming yet, but it will get used at some point for if I do live stream of PC builds or anything like that. Of course, I got my mini fridge stocked up a little bit right now, and also my workbench. That's a spare space in case somebody comes over, and little doggy, chica. Workbench here with all my tools and miscellaneous things, and there's my test bench station right here. And the cool thing about my test bench station is that I have it set up where I could be sitting at my computer, but you can also just turn and be at the test bench, no problem. Super useful. And if I had a 2-PC stream setup going, which I don't do anymore, but if I did, that would also make it very easy to go back and forth between the two if it was on this one like it used to be. And over here we have my main rig, 12-core Ryzen 9 3900X with the RTX 2060 Super, 32 gigs of RAM, CPU is custom water cooled, and it's all very awesome. This is fantastic for streaming, and there will be a little bit of tweaks you can do for X264 options linked in the description below for you guys to also help your streams look as best as they can. For additional mood lighting, I guess you could say, stream lighting, I have the LED strip that runs behind the table, as well as some floodlights that are throwing up some extra light. So you can see they got a floodlight there. Then I got a floodlight back here, back there, see it? Throwing up light against the wall so it looks good on stream when I use my overhead camera. Speaking of the overhead camera, you can see that I have a small angle of it there. And yeah, that's a really cool addition that I did to the stream where I could show off the room as a whole because, you know, small camera angle from the one main camera there is just not enough to see how awesome everything is. So I used a boosted USB extension, and then I ran it through this, the raceway here over to here, And I've questioned whether I want to put the wire that goes up in a raceway, because when you open the door, as you can see, clean. But let's go ahead and shut the door for now. The boosted USB extension goes up there, and then gets routed to the camera, which is right there. You can see it. And that is the overhead camera. We'll show you a little bit more with that. And we're gonna go into the computer now, straight to the desktop, and let's talk more about how OBS is set up. Okay, so here we are at the desktop with OBS on the main screen here. And as you can see, I have my OBS Live integrated as well. That'll be linked down below, where I have my follows and like follower activity feed on this side, my chat over here on this side. Here's my setup down here. It's a little wonky because I gotta fix it. I had it on a different monitor. Okay, so with this, I have all my scenes set up over here on the left. My source is here. I have different scenes. I have a stream starting scene. I have a logo, sort of a 3D logo stream beginning sort of thing. I have my gaming scene, be right back scene. That one's pretty important because sometimes if you just leave your seat, that could be a turnoff to a potential viewer if they join the stream and they just see an empty seat. You want to have a sort of an intermission screen or a BRB screen to switch to in case you have to jump out and do anything. So yeah, I have a talking screen, which is the one that we're on right now if I'm just talking and hanging out. And then a couple of miscellaneous ones, as well as a stream over one like this one. And the overhead one that I talked about is this guy right here. As you can see, there is the overhead camera. This has got to be one of my favorite ones yet, because I get to show off the awesome new studio setup and streaming setup like this. And yeah, and I have to say that the ceiling light sometimes I don't like on, because I like having it a little bit dim like that. So I turn the ceiling fan light off, and you can see it looks really freaking great. And sometimes I just switch over to this one, or I integrate it into other scenes. Like if I go to my stream starting scene and I'm just preparing, and you can see me hanging around down there, which is fantastic. You can just see me sitting there, and or sometimes I'll just turn it off if I don't want to be seen while I'm preparing for stream. Just how it is. But let's go back, and I honestly also really enjoy my stream starting logo thing that I had made, and you'll hear it right now. This is how it goes, and it might be a little bit loud, so I apologize for that. But I had this made on Fiverr. If you guys wanted to see a video on my process on getting this made, please let me know down below, because I would like to talk about that. Fiverr really helped out with getting something cool like this done that uses our logo. And all it is I set some music to it. I cut it up a little differently than it was delivered, but it is our logo. It's the CG logo. Scrolling over awesome. This leads into the beginning of the streams, at which point I'll let this do its thing. You can see there's that little bit of anyways, then I switch over to talking. Here we are. Now the talking scene, I also have everything controlled via the Stream Deck, which let me bring the Stream Deck software over here to show you guys. And there it is. So there is the Stream Deck software. And yeah, as you can see, I have my gaming scene, my talking scene, my doc intro is what I call that, because it's heavily inspired by Dr. Disrespect, my desktop one. I also have a global mic mute here, which is super useful in the Stream Deck software. I have a gaming zoom. So if I'm on the gaming scene, which I push that button on the Stream Deck right now, I have like a little comedic zoom thing that I do sometimes, where it helps when it comes to like having an interesting stream, because you press the gaming zoom button and yeah, so sometimes it helps emphasize jokes or certain awkward moments, or you know, whatever. I think it's pretty cool. So all I do, I have that set up where I press it and it brings up a zoomed in version of my camera source like that, and then when I'm done with it, I just press it again and it takes it off back to normal. That is something actually I'm really happy about. So what I did there is I took the same scene, so that would be let's see, what do I have my main camera called? The main camera, of course. So main camera is the one we're looking at right now, and then to make the bigger zoomed in scene, I have the main camera again over here, but I have the Stream Deck set up where I push it and it turns it off and on. So collection is Solstice Local, which is my setup. Scene is main gaming, source is main camera. So you can select it from your list of sources inside of what OBS has. And I'm using this one and not this one. The one that's higher up on the list is the bigger one. So the source list is reflected exactly the order that you have in OBS. So that's how you'll know what to select if you're wanting to do something like this too. And I just have it in there. Again, I just push it and then push it again, and we're back. And also in the talking scene, that becomes useful because if I switch over to the talking scene by pushing the talking button on here on the Stream Deck, again, that's just a title. I called it Talking, the collection. That's the one that I'm currently on in OBS, and it changes the scenes. All you do is change scene, talking, there we go. And of course, I have the same exact button set up here. And that helps, you know, do like for some funny moments and stuff like that. So I really do dig that when it comes to the streams. I also have a button that I could use inside of Twitch to clip. So if you have a moment in Twitch that, in your stream, especially on Twitch rather, that you really want to get a clip of, you want to wait a second, because if you clip too soon, it will actually cut it off a little bit. But wait about like 10 seconds and then you can hit the clip button. And over here, like that is right, it's integrated into the Stream Deck. Go over to Twitch and then you can do like create clip. There it is. You can even open last clip. You can do a whole lot of stuff, but I'm just talking about how I have it set up. So I have the clip button there. Something cool happens, I make sure to hit that clip button. You could also add a stream marker. So if you wanted to go back and do like highlights of your Twitch stream without necessarily going by your clips, you can hit the marker button and it'll drop a marker that you can review after the fact and then sort of do what you need from there. I also have the add button, which is nice. And the biggest reason, as an affiliate that doesn't get that many views at the moment, ad doesn't help a whole lot. However, what it does help is if you roll enough ads during your streams that people won't have that annoying ad that comes up 5 seconds after they join the stream. And I gotta say, I hate it when I join somebody's stream and I'm like, okay, I don't think there's gonna be an ad. I start typing my message, hit send, and then an ad comes up. And if they see my message, now I don't get to see if they responded because an ad came up and blocked everything for me to see. So if you use the ad button enough with Twitch the way it is now, it'll basically eliminate that pre-roll ad at the beginning of streams, which is super nice. A stream elements feature that's in here, as you can see over here on the right side, is something called Capagen. I put the Capagen button right here, and the Capagen, as you can see, if I push that, drops a message in the stream that causes your sub emotes to go in there and blow up. Real cool. If something awesome happens, you can hit that Capagen button for extra excitement, but you could also hit that button if you just want to give props to somebody, like Capagen. You know, major props to Mr. Redragon, for example, who's one of my mods. I hit that button if something awesome happens, or he says something funny. I'm like, hell yeah, that deserves a Capagen. And it doesn't come up the same way every time either. You can hit that button as many times as you want, and Stream Elements is really cool about having different patterns for all that. Now, if in Stream Elements you start getting alerts that you are sure bothersome or come in at the wrong moment, there's a skip alert button. And I have that set up on the Stream Deck as well. Basically what you're looking at on screen right now is my Stream Deck setup. And when it comes to my lighting, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that. This is all my lighting control buttons. And again, I have way more in-depth information on my lighting control in a different video, and that'll be linked down below, of course. So if you guys wanna see more about the specific lighting control, make sure you check that out. So let's go back to the main screen, and there we are. That's pretty much it for the Stream Deck setup. I mean, you come into OBS, you come into Stream Deck rather, with OBS open, and you can set your scenes by just dragging the button. So let's see here. That would be OBS, which is OBS Studio, right here. We're just looking at it. Where'd it go? OBS Studio. Then Scene. So if you want a button to take you to a specific scene, you take that scene and you drag it into the spot. And then once you drag it in there, you can name it. I called my naming. The collection should be the currently active scene collection that you have in OBS. And then your scene is the one that you want to do. And you just select that from your list of scenes. So you can see down here in the bottom left, I have all the scenes here: starting, logo, start, main gaming, BRB, talking, and in Stream Deck, it reflects that right here. So all you do is drag that scene button, basically select which one you wanted to switch to, and that button will switch you to that scene. You can also do this with like your number pad if you set hotkeys inside of OBS, but that's a conversation for a different video. Something that I actually always try to get anyone who streams to do when it comes to microphone quality in my stream setup is I try to make sure everybody has a filter, especially my microphones, a filter for noise suppression. Now, noise suppression is awesome because it helps your mic sound a little bit more professional. If you don't have noise suppression turned on, then you hear a lot of background noise, which is annoying in a way. Now, we do also have a video on this. It'll be linked down in the description below. Long story short, you do no noise suppression, which I'll just demonstrate for you real quick right now. Delete. It's really fast to do. You could probably hear some noise. I'm being really quiet right now. Yeah, there's noise. I'm sure there's noise right now. But if I go back to my main camera, go to filters, go to the plus sign, hit noise suppression, and okay, -30 is fine. It's a big deal, and it's, you think that it might make your voice sound bad or might screw things up, might make you sound like you're underwater. Not necessarily. It generally always makes your stream sound better. So always use this. This is probably one of the best things, like the best bit of advice I can give you for your streams from my setup. Oh, real quick, also one thing I forgot to tell you guys about is my camera, which you're looking at through right now at me. And my camera is a Sony Alpha A5100, which you can see up on screen right now. I use a 16mm f2.8 lens with autofocus, which is one of the best functions of this camera. Fantastic autofocus. Flip up screen, I can look right at it right now. I can see myself and I know that I'm in frame and everything looks good behind me and on me. So fantastic camera. You can get them used on eBay for $200 to $250, and the lens goes for $100 to $120. So for under $350, you can have yourself a really great camera. You don't need to spend $500, $600, $700 on another mirrorless or DSLR. You can realistically spend in the around $300 range to have something like this, which is fantastic. In this scene, it looks okay. In the gaming scene, it looks fantastic. I'm not sure what's going on with the specifics there, but I think it looks good in all of them. But I mentioned my floor RGB LED before I switched over to the desktop here. Well, you can see that adding all sorts of awesome little color behind me, which is something that I actually really do enjoy. You can see all that color. It looks good on stream, whether we're on the talking screen, whether we're on the overhead scene, or whether we're on the gaming scene. Now, the Sony A5100 that I mentioned can't directly connect to your computer to be used as a webcam. You do have to use a capture card. And the capture card that I went with is one that we reviewed not that long ago. Again, that'll be linked right over here. So make sure you check that out. Also be linked down in the description below. It is a Chert 4KC USB 3.0 capture card, which is this guy right here. And at $139.59, it's not a bad price for a capture card. Gets the job done. And yeah, there are other options like ones from Elgato and AverMedia in this price bracket, and they'll all work great. So whatever works best for you. But this is one that I definitely wanted to check out. And it seems to work pretty good. I've used it now for a long time and works great with my camera, right? Now you may have noticed that when I change scenes, you see this stinger transition in between them. I have a custom stinger transition. You could use other stuff as well. And if you use a site like, I guess VBI or maybe own.tv, You can probably pick up some stinger transitions, or you just go to Fiverr and look for stinger transitions there as well. All sorts of ways to get a stinger transition. But basically over here on the bottom right under scene transitions, let me go back to this scene. Under scene transitions in OBS Studio, you'll see stinger. You also have cut, fade, etc. You could set one there. I did stinger. I'm going to hit properties on that, and from there basically you just browse to where you have your stinger located, and there's mine located in that folder. You can adjust your frames and transition points all right here. You can even have some that have audio, which right now I have mine on turned off. I don't need any audio for mine, but some people do. And then there you go. Stinger transition is set for every scene by default. So when you change scenes, you know, that's what you get, which is awesome in my opinion. Sometimes it's come up if you change scenes too quickly. That's sort of an OBS thing. However, if you wanted to switch scenes to another scene and you didn't want the stinger on that specific scene, let's say I wanted to take the stinger off of switching towards talking, you can actually go right click onto it and let's see here, transition override. You see there, talking scene. Didn't have one. That's why I was doing it. I thought it was the OBS issue. We just found an issue and fix it right now. Make sure it's on stinger, because everything else, if you wanted to transition override, defaults to none. But you know, I want to make sure that talking has it. But if you wanted something else like a fade, let's say I'm going to put a fade on this one right here. Fade. Now, if I switch back to big capture little cam, I'm going to go back to talking, normal stinger transition, big capture little cam, fade. See that? It wasn't the stinger transition, it was a fade transition. And I'm going to change that back. I'm not going to override. None means no override. That's what that means. So they should all be on none. And if you wanted anything else, you can do cut, fade, stinger, and it could be a different stinger if you wanted it to be, which is, you know, it's all really great that you have that level of customization. OBS Studio is awesome, isn't it? You also might be wondering about my microphone. I have an Exelvon BM800 XLR microphone. This requires 48 volt phantom power, so I have it running through a different mixer. I use a Sound Blaster K3 Plus, which is this guy right here. Sound Blaster K3 Plus. It works fantastically. And it has adjustments for bass and treble, which is fantastic. You can also have a second input if you wanted a mic elsewhere in the room. And that is something I may experiment with later on, because having a mic elsewhere in the room means that I can maybe set up like a building station that I could stream from and have a separate microphone over there for that when I'm streaming from over there. I don't have to be worried about making sure that this microphone can hear me. I can have a separate microphone on that side, which I think is something that I should play with pretty soon. So if you want to catch the stream live, see all this stuff that I have set up, talk to me about streaming help, computer technician related things, because that's what I do. Need help with your computer stuff, your stream stuff, any advice on PC builds, PC gaming, anything related to that, make sure you stop by our streams. We stream every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific. Now that pretty much covers the basics of my stream setup. Overhead camera is the newest addition that I really enjoy having. I mean, how awesome is that, right? And my stream setup, I don't know, I'm just very happy with it, which is awesome. That's the basics of it. Microphone, camera, ring light. All the information on this will be linked down in the description below. All information that I talked about down in the description below. Make sure you guys check out the description if you wanted to see any more in-depth information on anything that I talked about here in this video. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Again, let me know about your stream setup. You got some pictures, you got a video maybe to show me, I'd be happy to check it out. Drop a comment down below. Let's talk about it. We'll see you in the next video. My name is Chris, this is Coalition Gaming, and I've been your stream technician. Bye.